Hey man, you got me. Another opportunity to hang out with me right here in the stream show. I appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you for being here tonight. I have an awesome show for you tonight. So tonight, we get a chance to talk about the shift in content creation. Like, I think this is like one of the coolest things for us to kind of get into right now. And it is my idea that this will be a conversation for us tonight, all right? So we'll get a chance to talk about some things because I think like you, me, we're able to think through this together, so I may be able to help a little bit. And I see my guy, Brandt Collins, hanging out with us saying, hello, Brandt. Man, I saw where you got the stream shed back going, man. Congratulations to you. I love the fact that you're still going at it, just like all of us, still kind of putting some things together. But we will be talking about some things, and I know you have an idea about how all of this stuff works or could work, and I would love to hear some of your ideas tonight as well as we talk about the shift in what's going on. So as you guys check in, I want to do this. I want to start by talking about a couple of companies, okay? A couple of companies in our past, because as things are shifting, where can we see technology going? I mean, with the introduction of Chat GPT 5, right? 5.0. Like, there's a lot that's going on here. I love the music, but it is getting, okay, cool. I should have turned it down, but I didn't. So my man Brandt says is all back, finished, set up, my show, GFX today. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. Brandt is back at it. I love it. That's what's up, man. Congratulations to you, sir. I love that. Things are shifting. Okay, are you ready for the shift? And I'll set the stage by talking about a couple of companies, okay? I want to start with the first company. So these are two companies. Think about the shift. Think about where we are right now, the introduction of ChatGPT 5 and all the other things that are out there right now. Claude and Gemini and all the stuff that's happening, things you can do, a runway, mid-journey, all the things that's going on in the content creation world. Think about where Blockbuster and Netflix were. Y'all remember that? Where you would go to the video store, pick up the cassette, the video cassette, right? Pick it up and rent it for a night or two. Like, that was a big deal when my kids were younger for us to go on a Friday to kind of pick up a movie for them to watch. And we'll get a couple of movies. And, you know, Blockbusters, they had stores all over the place. I mean, there was one just a couple of blocks from our home. So it was really easy to go in there and get a couple of things and come out, get a cartoon for them, get a drama movie from my wife and I, and it was just cool, right? My, how things changed. With one nuance to the business, and the nuance was just sending out, you order online and we'll ship it to you. Hear what I'm saying? Instead of going to the store, we'll ship it to you. That nuance actually started a whole new business idea. Not only did it start a new business idea, Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix. Didn't see the business model, couldn't see it. Now, in your own life, all of us are a certain age that we've experienced a lot of stuff. Have we missed opportunities because we were a little short-sighted? I'm talking about the shift that's going on in content creations. Have we missed the shift? Or are we missing the opportunity to be a part of the shift? Because I think we all are at a place where we could be a part of the shift. And that's just Netflix, blockbusters and Netflix. Of course, we know where Netflix is right now. And guess what? They are ever evolving. All right. Netflix went to the case where they were producing stuff for other people. And now, um, and now you now they're doing stuff to where they're building their own network. They're producing their own shows. So they've gone from distributing other people's stuff to distributing their own thing, and now you can stream it anywhere you want to. And it blows my mind that you can actually now stream it from your phone, iPad. Like you don't even need a TV to see it. I think that's crazy. I want you to be a part of this conversation. Don't just let me do all the talking. And this is how we could do it. I'm actually going to put the link in the chat really quick so you guys that wants to come on and be a part of the conversation can say, hey, Strick, man, what you're saying is true, but I think we're going a different direction with content creation. I was listening to Sean from Think Media and Gary Vee. They both said the same thing. The industry has changed from social media to interest media. And that's going to be a lot to unpack for all of us, to where it's just not all about the personalities, but now it's about people's interest, and the algorithms are putting people in clumps together. You say algorithm. This is what people want to see. Are you talking about what I want to talk about? That's really what are you talking about something that interests me? Not just the celebrity, but for all the rest of us, are you talking about something that interests me? Like there may not ever be a Mr. Beast again, unless there is an interest that everybody can circle around that he's meeting, or this new content creator is meeting the need for. I give you another one. Don't get it twisted. We got more stories. What about Kodak? Do you guys know that Kodak actually had pieces of the first patent for digital photography? Did you know that? But guess how they were making their money? With film. The Kodak film, that's where they were making their money, but they couldn't see how to make the transition with digital because it took that product out. It took the product of the film out. All right? Again, anybody who wants to be a part of this conversation, I want you to just jump right on in, because this is me telling you or setting the stage and a story about where I feel the shift is and where we could be focusing ourselves in this new world of content creation. And if we agree, disagree, but I think we all know the playing field has changed. Will we be like a Blockbuster? Will we be like a Kodak? To where we've worked, we have the information. We could be leading in the digital area, digital picture area, but we want to hold back the technology so we can continue to sell our film product. And they missed the whole boat. Okay? They missed the whole boat. And this is why the whole revolution came with the Sony phones, not Sony phones, but the revolution came with Canon cameras. You have the Rebel that shows up, and everybody's using digital cameras now, and they can download their pictures, and it just kind of took the whole business away from using any type of film. And there goes Kodak. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I need to hear from you. You can easily put it in the chat, or you can be a part of the conversation with our Zoom link that is in the chat as well. Hey, listen, Chris, I'm really just trying to help a little bit, and I'm glad you're hanging in with me tonight. But the idea is there is a shift, and if we're not ready, we could miss it. I have my hand up first, Chris, as a content creator that wanted to stay inside of the box. I want to do what I want to do, realizing that what I was doing was not going to work. It was not working. It was not going to work. Where is the shift? Okay. We have to be aware of that. Mike is saying video killed the podcast star. There's questions about that, Mike. Video is still a video, like YouTube has taken over from a podcast standpoint, which if it's a podcast is on YouTube, Mike, you're right, it's video podcast. And there's so much that's going on with audio podcasts. Some of the big ones are still happening. Let me get the news. Red alert. I don't. Let me just find a button to press. Okay, that's a good enough button. Howard Stern was let go from Sirius. You guys know that? Do you know how long Howard Stern has been like on the radio or producing audio and video or in the entertainment business? I have no idea how old he is, but I remember even as a kid watching this stuff. Anybody up on that can put it in the chat, like how long and maybe some more details between Howard Stern being let go. I just think that all of this is eye-opening, and we should be very much aware of what's happening, Chris. Mike, we should be really on. Brandt, we should be really on the fact that things are different, and we need to be ready for that change. I would not want you guys to hear this today and be like Kodak, have the information and don't move because you're trying to hold it back. I wouldn't want you to have that. I'll give you another one. Here's another great one. Nokia. I was in the phone business. I worked for Bell South Mobility and here in Birmingham. And I promise you, Motorola was out. Ericsson was out. I don't know what Ericsson is doing right now, but Nokia is definitely out of the game. And you know what product took Nokia out of the game? It's another product that didn't make it, but the BlackBerry did it. The BlackBerry took Nokia out of the game. It took a lot of products out of the game. It had maybe a 5-year run, before other products took it over. Like basically the BlackBerry technology was just dropped at one point. They just, no more BlackBerry. You got to use this. I don't remember all the details, but Nokia was there first, and Nokia was knocking out they had the phone that I remember, the 2160, Nokia 2160. Oh man, you had to have that phone. It was sleek, the right dials. It was just innovative, the whole nine. Now, where are they? Where's the Ericsson phone? So the Ericsson phone wasn't as popular because where I sold the Ericsson phone, or when I did, a lot of their products came out and they wasn't all the way ready with their research and development. It would get hot. It would get really, really hot when you used it for a long time. Like if you're on a call with an Ericsson phone, the technology was cool, but your ear would start burning because it was just hot. We couldn't sell them, and what we did sell, they would come back. But you can trust that the Nokia was right. Before Nokia was really, really popular, guess what? That Motorola flip phone? Come on, man. Get the phone, flip it out. That was the thing. And they're still trying to do the flip phone, and there's talks about, iPhone having a phone that flips open, like I guess the Android phone that opens up. So there talks about all this kind of stuff. But that being said, Motorola Flip, you got several versions of it. You got the one with the slim back, and then you have the big battery that made it bulky. All of that. Guess what? Those days are long gone. Things change. There is a shift in technology, and now we have a shift in technology. Even though we have more, as content creators, we have more at our hands from an AI standpoint. YouTube has just come out and said, hey, you can use AI, but all of these people that are faceless and AI voice and all AI produced through AI, they're going to not monetize that material anymore. Guess what? Have you guys, when they put that out, it's like, oh, you can't do that anymore. Yeah, you can. Why? Why? Because if you're still able to use AI to garner attention, if you're still able to get viewers, you don't have to be in the partnership program from YouTube. There's a lot of money on the table, but all you have to do is just throw a product or two in there and still make money from selling products or affiliate sales or other people wanting to be on your channel. It's all possible, right? So that's not a limitation. It's a limitation from the partnership program through YouTube. But if you're getting people to watch, they still have to know that if it's got high engagement and high watch time, guess what? That channel is working from a YouTube perspective. I watch a lot of science videos. I actually go to sleep to them, like a bunch of science stuff, or 10 unsolved mysteries, or 30 unbelievable facts, all that stuff, right? Most of it is computer generated. Like, it's an AI voice, I can tell. It's an AI generated video, and it's put up. And I'm not the only person that watch it. I mean, it's an hour long, and before it gets 10 minutes in, guess what? I'm asleep. But I know there are millions of people that had watched it. What are you going to do in the shift? Let me do this for you really quick. I want to run down a couple things that I think can help you with some practical things that can help. So because I'm teaching today, guys, chime in. I would love to hear what you got to say. Again, I do have the Zoom link, but I want to go and stay on task for what I got today. And if we get through all of this in record time, guess what we just do? And I'm happy about it. I need you to stay curious about the trends. I heard this term for the very first time working with Doc and the Let's Get Live VIP, right? Being an early adopter has its benefit. Or let me say it this way, has its benefits. Mary Ann, how are you doing? From down under, thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm hoping this will kind of spark something from you in your business and what you're doing online. I want you to stay curious about the trends. The trends are moving just like AI, and basically now we got, ChatGPT 5. The next company is going to come out with something, right? He says I'm dating myself, brother. Using all of those brands you mentioned, I am, brother. I go back. If you zoom in over the last couple of weeks, if you can see the beard, the white beard that I have, I am definitely can remember all of those brands and all of those things. But I have learned by being an early adopter, I give you a great example. Nobody is talking about trends right now. Facebook's trends. All right. Threads. I said trends. I meant threads. Nobody's talking about threads, but threads is not going away. What if, just like nobody was on YouTube when it first started, what if you get on threads and just, garner an audience there? You're just posting and people in threads are seeing your stuff. Nobody's talking about threads as much, but people are posting there. And what if you garner an audience there and catch the wave? Like something happens and threads is the new TikTok or it's the new X or whatever. Everybody goes that direction. What if that happens? And you are there, you catch the wave. Because I believe being an early adopter, you're willing to do things where you're willing to be the first person to market with something or to try it or to get on, and not just get on, but dive in. Oh, it's not working. Well, YouTube didn't work for people in the beginning. It's those people that stayed and worked and worked and worked. It was the 12-year-old that got on and, hey guys, I want to show you this new remote control I got with my new computer. Is really cool. I could do this with it and that with it. And that turned out to be one of the biggest YouTubers out there. He started when he was 12. But at 12, 10 years of doing it, he's 22. 10 more years and he's 32. And he's got 20 years of experience with making YouTube videos. Of course, he's going to be ahead of the game because he's stuck with it. There's some things, just like Threads, come out that we can be a part of. And I say Threads, guys, there got to be other companies out there right now. I know there's clips that's coming out that people are talking about. I'm not on all of these things either, but I do feel like they are good. All right. Strong phones. So I guess that's what. I don't sleep on being early adopter. Yeah, don't sleep on it. Especially with the different social platforms and new features. You just never know. I mean, there's a social platform or there's a platform that's paying people to post on it. Did you guys know that? That they're now paying content creators to post? I do think it's important to stay curious and to find ways to be an early adopter, because those things will help you in the end. You just never know what technology will be there if you just go and try it. Just go and try it. Now, being an early adopter to social media and trends is one thing. Being an early adopter to like new software, that's something totally different, okay? You may want to wait to download the latest software just to be sure they got the bugs out of it. When it comes to some of these things, you know, you've been there for a little while, right? You understand that point. So take advantage of, Marianne said, take advantage of the new features before they stop pushing your content. You know what happens with new features is that they actually push people that Instagram, they got the new edits. So if someone is using the edit tool to build the video inside of Instagram, guess what? Instagram's going to push that a little further. I'm just telling you, all right? I'm just saying, I think that is a possibility. So I want you guys to be aware and to stay curious and be in the front part of it there. So I'm in the sports and recreation, retail and brand, and now using public ambassadors to reach the consumer instead of brick and mortar. Very good idea. Very good idea. And thank you for sharing that, because with all of us, things are changing really fast. How you want to say this? Sometimes you can use a brick and mortar, and depending on how much traffic they have, you can go to one person and get more traffic with their friends and family than you could going to a brick and mortar. Because those people may be in that brick and mortar for something different than what you have. But if you go directly to people and they have a community, say they have a community of just 500 people, and you were able to get 50 of those. There you go. Marianne, you're right on top of it. And I'm thinking that, guess what? I'm going to test that this week. So like a lot of people, we're always trying to streamline what we do to make it easier, faster, and better. And it may not be easier or faster, but let's see how we can make it work and see how Instagram pushes it. You just never know. You just never know. You just never know. So let's keep going, because I got a few of these I want to get through today. Just what I just said. Embrace small experiments. You got to do the experiment. I'm just going to experiment. I just said that. I think that's a part of what you do. Don't be afraid to try new formats and platforms at small scales. Try new types of content and see how your audience responds. And a lot of times we can see how our audience responds, and we can also see how Instagrams respond to us doing it. All right. So am I right about that? We're going back to the Nokia thing. Texting killed the pneumatic keyboard phones. Yes. So You know, you had to, what A was A, B, and C. Uh, the young showed the way, got to skate to where the puck is going. There you go. I mean, that's true. I get it. I get it. So we got to be fast with that. What are you doing in your content to be sure that you're catching the wave? Okay, I think I hear Brandt in the background. I'm gonna bring him in just a minute so he can come hang out with us to talk about all this stuff, because I know he has an opinion about all of this too. Like, he's definitely on this. Diversify your content. Now, this is very controversial, everybody. All right, this is very controversial. So I'm a proponent, however you say that word, for niching down. Like, to have a niche, like we talk about this. So when you see Strick, he's talking about the stream show and streaming and content, and then I have my own shows. But really, I'm teaching people how to do content, how to stream, right? It's like, this guy does this. And I teach people to find a road to go down where people can find you to talk about that thing, right? Well, check this out. Just because I have that one niche doesn't mean that I can't be found on multiple platforms. I believe that those people that have garnered attention really, really quick on TikTok, guess what? Those are the best people to then the TikTok people find you on your YouTube channel. Of course, we're sending people to YouTube because it pays the best, right? But if you get found and there's traction and you got 1 million people follow you on TikTok, if all you need is 100,000, get your first plaque, get those people to go over to YouTube. But post things that are directed towards the audience that's there. I'm not telling you to go on TikTok dancing. I'm not telling you that. I'm saying that there could be some content that's familiar done in several. I mean, it's just like you go landscape or horizontal. Like, if you're going to do shorts, if you're going to do TikTok, and if you're going to do reels, it's got to be horizontal, right? It's just the way it goes. And there's ways to build your content slightly different for those platforms. That being said, let me grab them really quick. Let me see. I hadn't had this done yet, so let's build it up. One thing about Ecamm is they do make it really simple for you. And I've done this enough that you would think, hey, Strick, I'm sure you can get them on camera a whole lot faster than that. No, I'm running a little slow today, but I want to bring him on because it'll be cool to have him hang out with me for a little while. There he is, Mr. Brandt Collins. How are you doing, sir?
What's up?
Man,
You
I
got
see you.
audio for me?
I do. Can you hear it? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I hear you. You're
I hear you
loud
just
and
fine.
clear on this end.
Awesome. So I'm just in the stream shed. It's hot, so I got a fan. So I'm trying to keep the volume down so you don't hear it.
I
But
got my earphones on, and you sound nice and
awesome.
clear to me.
Awesome. So it's great to catch up and kind of pop in and see kind of all the stuff you're talking about is what I'm going through right now, is rethinking getting back into this and how things have changed even 4 years ago since we started.
Right, right. It has moved
Because
really,
it's
really
all
quickly.
changed.
It really has. And I started off by saying something that Gary Vee said, and I also heard Sean Cannell from Think Media say, where we're moving from social media to interest media. You know, and I do think that there is more of an interest from the audience than it is just having a social media presence. And David has said it. Yeah, we're back in it. We are back in it. The duo's here.
Yeah, I heard somebody on TikTok the other day, a young man said something I thought was pretty amazing. He said, quit treating it like social media, treat it like FaceTime. And that's kind of what
That
we do
part.
here on these shows, right? You're talking just like you would on a FaceTime call. You're not I think the time for over produced stuff is kind of past us. I think people want to get to some authenticity, especially with AI. I think AI is pushing that a lot because if it looks good, too good, is it AI? Is that really a person? You
Right.
know, and then I finished The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, which is basically about how what you're talking about, like Netflix and things like that, where they reach their tipping point and they just kind of happens overnight and things just change. And I think I'm getting back into this right now because I think there's some changes going on.
Right. And there's some changes, and I think there's opportunity if you are going about it the right way. And I can't
Mhm.
tell people what the right way is for them. But the one thing that I can say is part of my what I'm sharing today, and I want to keep it going here, Brent, and I'm going to add you into this screen as well, is to stay flexible and open minded. Because I believe that that flexibility that you can have is going to be one of those things that's going to separate you. And it goes into the fact that maybe we you know maybe we try this, maybe we don't. Or if something new comes up, just like I said earlier, being that early adopter, I think those things are important. What do you think about
Yeah, and
that?
I think you do have to. Well, I'm an early adopter, so I'm that person, but I also try to spot trends. And I see that, you know, one of the trend I see from when we started 4 years ago is just equipment. Everybody has great equipment.
Right,
Period. Done. Everybody knows how to light. Done. Everybody has it. The prices are getting cheaper. Everybody has 4K. Everybody has kind of all the abilities and or technically, but
right.
then you still have to learn how to tell a story, how to communicate with your audience. Now you have to start thinking about marketing and branding and some other things to set yourself apart because, and everybody's got a channel, everybody's got a podcast. So you got a lot of people out there. And if you look at the industry as a whole, what I watch a lot is if you look at what's happening with Paramount and Universal, and they're all buying each other up and, coming together, and things are just changing. There's so many platforms, there's so many services. I think people are a little burnt out with as much content. So you really have to decide if you do this, can you bring value and can you be entertaining? Can you get, let's see how many people we have here, the 10 or 15 people in here today to come up every week because there's other stuff to watch.
That's
So
true. That's true. And watching, I mean, what do you think? Even be giving the update on Howard Stern or Stephen Colbert. We're talking
I,
about what CBS.
I knew about Stephen Colbert. I didn't know about
Howard
the other
Stern.
guy, Howard
Hmm.
Stern, because Howard Stern's kind of been a staple forever.
Forever.
Um,
Right.
which is weird. I don't know the reasoning why. Um, and we're living in a society now where a lot of it's political, probably not by actual numbers and what's popular or not, but it's changing all the time, and it can change overnight. You
It
know,
really can. But
and you think about back in the day. I remember all I wanted to do. I started all this just so I could be a music video producer. That's what I wanted to do. MTV doesn't exist like it used to, but there for a while it was everything, right? And it's
that's true.
gone. You
I
know,
actually started doing video while I was in the studio on Sunday mornings. Well, I have a 3 camera. There were webcams. I mean, of course, the technology was slow. I was on a slow computer, but the idea was there to have a 3 camera switch inside of the radio studio and made it work for the time that I did it. I brought lights into the studio and everything because, radio studios, they don't have a lot of lights. They don't need them. But videos, I did need to put light on me, and that really did work. I still have some of those videos up on my YouTube channel where I'm doing like it's a radio show, but I'm doing a video show while I'm in the radio station doing my live show. It was just the coolest thing. Things have progressed. Of course, I don't have a license to play all of those videos that I was playing.
yeah.
But there are ways around some of those things now. But the trends are always moving. I just feel that we have to be focused on if it's not working, what can you do? And one of the things that I want to just go to the next point here, learn from other industries. And I kind of started with telling those stories about Nokia, telling the stories about Kodak, telling a story like if you can't learn from Blockbuster and what they did. I know Kodak is not as well known that Kodak actually had uh, the digital picture technology first. They were one of the first ones to have it and just didn't want to put it out because they were making so much money from the film. Like that's a big deal. And
I'm
now,
actually,
go
like I
ahead.
said, if you want to know about this, I just listened to the book, the audiobook. You can read the Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell, and that's all it covers is industries like that that just didn't see the trends coming, and also talks about people that can pick up on trends early and figure it out, right? So how to get there early. Sometimes you might think you're on a trend, but you may be 6 months too late, or in my case, 5 years too early. I started all this in 2006 trying to do a show on on YouTube, and had some success, got sponsors and things like that, but I was just way too early because influencer didn't exist.
Got
So
you.
yeah, you have to really look at all industries, not just, and that's what I've been trying to do is not look at just YouTube, right? And other creators like you and me. I'm looking at the industry. I'm looking at the Stephen a lot of the stuff that's coming out is some like Stephen Colbert and Rachel Maddow. I don't know how true it is. I haven't researched it, but they're looking like they're going to start their own, you know, channel.
They
Or
should. They
or so
should.
it could Joy Reid, she's starting her own thing. So now they don't
Yeah.
have to have a TV studio. This everything we have here would have been a couple $100,000 when I was in TV.
Right.
Now you could do it with your phone. I really don't have to have a lot of equipment, but they have the built-in audiences, so it's a little harder for us to you throw that pebble in the big ocean and stand out. But I think that one thing that's a testament to what you're doing is the whole just you've done this for 4 years and that slow build. And that's kind of part of that book I was reading is it's that slow build. And at some point it will just, you'll wake up and it'll be
To go.
successful and you,
Right.
you won't know it came. It'll just be like, whoa,
And that's one
and
of the
it,
things that people need to be aware of. There are certain things and people that have gone viral. Now, I say going viral from the standpoint of I think a lot of these people have experience in other industries and they started and they knew what to do and it just worked and they went viral within a year getting on YouTube. But there's a lot of stories, just like I started with MKB, talking about when he was 12. I mean, he's been on YouTube upwards of 20 years. Like, of course, he's going to be famous and, all the above. This guy's got interviews with the Tesla owner. What's his name?
Elon Musk.
Elon. He has interviews with Will Smith. I mean, come on, you can't get any bigger than that. And that comes from his time of being on the platform and growing and people liking him and him evolving and learning from 12 years old to where he is now. Um, there's opportunity, but I also think that there is a grind to it as well. There is a real grind to it, and if you're willing to put in that work and grind, then you would get it. So, Upstate says that delivery and consumption has to be fast and convenient. I do believe that, and that's what social media is doing right now, making it fast and convenient, having it on your phone. Do you see, Brent, another technology coming along that could be quicker than a TikTok or quicker than a YouTube?
No, but I am noticing a trend. It's a trend that I've stepped into, and I think a lot of the Gen Zs are. I kind of ran this by my daughter, who's Gen Z, and just she's in college now, and she is totally on board with this. And that is there's a movement to get back to analog. So there's a
Okay.
movement to get back away from your phone. People are starting to buy MP3 players again. There's a huge uh, trend of buying old iPods and modding them so you can own your digital media again. Um, I just I went and saw the movie F1 with Brad Pitt. I loved it so much I bought the cassette tape,
No
and I actually
way.
bought a cassette player to
No
play it.
way. No
And when I
way.
posted this on TikTok, I got 5,000 likes, and that people commenting like, I'm gonna go back to my media. So there's a huge, and I'll even hold on. I'm gonna step away for just a second. I'll
I
show you.
got you. Kerwin's gonna get me because I still have a cassette player. Like I have a Sony cassette player, still do. Like it's just one of those things that I kind of keep that one of those days I do a show and tell about how all that stuff works.
This is my original HD camera. There's a trend now. If you watch, young people are buying these digital tape cameras and converting them with a recorder to record digitally. And these are a hot item at the local thrift mart. There's a guy that I followed. The big photographer guy that always has the big following. He interviewed a guy. He completely got viral by making videos. It's cool to be retro again. And so I'd bought this back in the day to do my first commercial video production shoot because it was HD. So I've got it all set up. Works with my Rodecaster wireless mics. I bought a wide angle adapter on eBay for it. I can hook it up. It's got all the outs, mic ins, mic outs, HDMI out. I could stream with it if I wanted to. And this is a new trend, is to get back to, people say it looks like memories.
Okay.
So that the flash and the shiny, because of AI is what I'm saying, and because of the oversaturation of everybody looking so good, that people want it to look authentic. So
Very interesting. Very
you'll go down a
interesting.
rabbit hole.
It sounds like it.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like it. So more where the audience is going than where the tech is going. I think that's interesting because it's kind of like the same thing you're saying. Record players are having a bump. So my wife, who is she's a jazz artist, we have purchased albums to sell, and we actually was doing a show in man, where were we at? I think we went to London, and because we were traveling and not wanting to take too much product and not sell it and have to bring it back, I had to pack it. Who wants to pack product back up? You want to like take just enough, right?
Right.
Man, I could have sold 4 times as many albums as I bought.
They wanted vinyl.
They wanted the vinyl.
Yeah.
They wanted the vinyl, and everywhere we go, because of that, we're actually selling more vinyl but we're still selling CDs now. So because of the user. So I'm talking about a totally different demographic. We're talking about 50 and up. That somewhere they've been used to albums, they've been used to CDs. They have a CD player somewhere, or they're just cool with still purchasing the CD because they get the signature the day of the show, and it can be something they can remember. So I actually sell it that way. Like it's a memorabilia type of purchase. Even if you don't listen to the actual CD, you still have something physical in your hand that you don't get from the digital products or from streaming.
Well, my son and daughter both are buying vinyl. They're going to thrift shops. It's more about the experience of going to a record store, trying to find deals. My 15-year-old didn't want to go buy clothes this year we didn't go to Old Navy or the mall. He went to Goodwill. He wanted to thrift all of his stuff. And that's the trend right now. So, and if you're talking about, I'm talking about young market too. They're trying to get grandma and grandpa's records. They're getting gifted some players, things like that. And it's just kind of a whole new, but really what it is, I've been doing a lot of research on this. It's the way we interact with media. People are getting they're getting burnt out with their phone, having the one device. And a lot of people are going to like digital minimalism to get away from, answering the phone and chatting all the time and things like that. Some people are going back to an MP3 player, completely taking social media off their phone. And the reason I bring that up is that those people are looking to engage differently, and they're wanting to sit down with purpose and watch a show. So I don't know, back in the day when we started this, a lot of people were watching it from their TV in their living room. That's a purposeful event. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to enjoy this show. It don't have to be on the go. It doesn't have to be on my phone. And this is the great thing about stuff, what we're doing now. You can stream this to your Roku TV. I could put it on the TV right now. I could put it on the phone. I could put it, as a podcast. You can put it as there's just so many ways. The democratization of distribution is at its peak, I think, right now. And everybody's taking advantage of it. It's just hard. harder and harder to stand out and harder to get seen.
It is. It is. Don't feel bad. Every now and again, I take out my cassette player for young folks. I get it, man. I get it. So you got to show them like this is what we have to listen to. Just think about having to jog with a Sony cassette player with headphones on the side, like jogging with that. Like, now you got your phone in your pocket. It's just so much easier. It sounds like
What
influenced by generation. I do believe that.
here's the great thing that's happening though. My wife bought a pair of headphones. They look like the old foam headphones. Remember
Uh
the
huh.
old ones that came with your Walkman?
Uh huh.
But they're Bluetooth.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
you get the retro look and feel, but you use it with your phone. And she loves them. So
I like that. I like that. Brain, this is something you should say all the time in our show is keeping an eye on the metrics or making sure that you look at your analytics of what you're doing because it will tell you a lot. So as you are creating or trying to catch the shift, look at what's hitting or not hitting. Look at when you should be posting, when you shouldn't be posting, when are your people that all of the small things that you have to do, be sure that you're up on understanding the metrics, okay? Because you could be making a change because you feel like it's going a direction and not looking at your metrics well enough to know you probably should just stay where you are and
yeah,
grind it
that's a
out.
challenge. That's a challenge because again, I'm look at all of us. How many times have we changed our studios and bought new cameras and looking for that thing, right? We all have that shiny object syndrome. So there is a fine balance between knowing when to change or to test or to move on and when not to just, beat the dead horse. Um, and the analytics will help you do that,
That's
and I
right.
think that you can tweak um, a little bit here and there. I guess what I tell a lot of people, especially if you're marketing, if you're wanting to do an A/B test, you don't change everything, right? You don't change the graphic and the text and the description because you don't know what it was. You
Right.
change only the image. You
Right.
change, then the next time you change the headline,
Right.
and you start tweaking that till you can find what's right. It takes a lot of time and effort, but you have to have and a lot of people I talk to this day, they don't. I do a lot of websites for people and they don't even know about analytics. They aren't looking at their Google Analytics. They aren't looking at, the analytics in TikTok or Instagram. They're
That's
just,
right. I got a
they're
store
just
up.
not real.
That's it. I got
Yeah,
my okay, my store is ready.
yeah,
Well, you got to look at who's coming by, when, and why, right? Where they're
yep.
going. What are they
I'm
clicking
actually
on?
testing something new called Plausible, and it's like a open source. It's a paid for. I'm doing a 30-day free trial, but it's a version that's kind of it's a competitor to free Google Analytics. So
Okay.
so far it's been pretty cool. It kind of takes away all the Google Analytics can be really hard to look at sometimes, so they kind of make it simple. So I'm trying that out. But YouTube, you got to go into YouTube Studio. You got to look at all those different analytics to see, who's viewing it, who's not viewing it. I've been really blogging more and posting stuff on LinkedIn, and I can tell you we're in 30 days. I've been blogging, relaunched my website, and I think I've had 50 people read my blog posts, but I
That's
can tell you
awesome.
where they came from. They came from, it says right in the analytics, LinkedIn and Facebook, the two places that I'm posting, the most.
Perfect.
So,
I like that. And I still think if you hunker down in LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a really funny one because you can post stuff there, and I don't know that it's counting right, but people see it. It may be 2 days later, but they will see it,
well, the
if they're
other
going in there.
thing you got to realize is a lot of people are stalkers.
Oh, yeah.
Like I
They're,
meet
they're
people all
part.
the time. Oh yeah, I know you do all this. I know how's this going? They've never interacted with my show. They've never been on here. But they know everything that I do. So
Right.
there are a lot of people that watch. They don't necessarily interact. So
Right.
that's another thing you'll know if you look at your analytics, right?
That's
So
right. So Kerwin says, look how quick CDs came and left. Was it quick? CDs were around for a really long time. Well, relative to albums, it was quick. Relative to cassettes, it was a quick turnaround where they went smaller and smaller and smaller. Very rare would you see computers with a disk drive on it. I don't, who has a disk drive? Like who has a disk drive on their computer? Like you go from a USB to uh, Brent. I'm gonna get you because you never told me about. So I use SD cards all the time
Mm.
now, and now with the Sonys, there is I got some product here that I'm just starting. I got the OWC 240 gigabyte card because it could read faster. So I'm doing a
Yeah.
little bit more in 4K, and 4K with these smaller cards were good, but when I get upwards to 30, 40 minutes, they're not fast enough to
Right.
handle
Especially
it.
if you want to shoot the high frame rates and stuff like that, you have to
All
have
of
the
that.
fast CF
Gotta have the
cards.
fast
Yeah.
stuff. So then they say, hey, get the reader. So this is what is this? A B. So it's an A type memory card that I'm using a B type adapter. Yeah, B type adapter for this
Right.
reader to get the faster speeds. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, it's all use case, you know. I think
It
that
is
one of
use
the
case. I'm
things.
using a longer, larger
Mm.
files. We're talking about 60 to 100 gigabyte files that I'm trying to edit with and upload and all that other kind of stuff. You'd be waiting for days for that if you don't do it the right way.
Well, a good example is like years ago, I went to a lot of motorcycle races and I had what was a really good Nikon camera, I thought, you know, it was
Mm-hmm.
like maybe $1,300 camera back in the day. And I couldn't take pictures of the motorcycles, right? So, you know, and you start looking around at the professional photographers that have got a, you know, $15,000 lens and a camera so fast. There's five or six, seven, $8,000 camera, which
Right.
and I would always say I don't need a camera that fancy. If you're gonna do that kind of work, you can
Yeah.
because they could stop the motorcycle, zoom in. I mean, it looks amazing. You can't get it with your even iPhone 15 can't do that, you know.
Right.
So, but then again, when you step up to that next level, you're stepping up everywhere. The
Everywhere. All
processing,
the
the
accessories, all the
speed,
stuff. Yeah.
you know, I got, you know, this was my first 500 gigabyte for editing, which is full. Then I had to step up to a terabyte, you
Right.
know, but it work if I shoot all in 4K, you know, I'm doing 30, 40, 50 gigs of video shoot.
And I went
Now I got to
from,
keep all that somewhere.
yeah, I went from a 2 to a 4. Now in the studio, I have like a bank or a network bank that's 8 gigabytes, and I'm having to navigate all that stuff.
Right. And
And
when I went to NAB this year, one of the things I looked at was really is NAS storage because you need to figure out a way to we all need to figure out a way to how to archive this stuff or you have a stack of these laying around, you don't know
right,
what's what,
on what's what.
right?
And the worst thing is
So
having to go back through all of that stuff and figure out where I put something. Oh, I hate that.
I was looking for something today and I just had to it was a logo that I had for a show I had years ago. I have everything I've ever made except for that. And I finally just broke down and remade it. It took me 10 minutes in Illustrator to remake it, but I was like, I know I have this, you
Right.
know, Google Drive, Dropbox. And I looking at all these different places and I found everything but that one thing.
Wow.
So, but yeah, you got to keep up with all your stuff, you know.
This is another thing I want us to stay focused on as I wrap this up, Brent. I think that we need, just like we're on today, network with other creators. I think that's a very, very positive thing. I had an opportunity, Brent, to hang out with Kirk Nugent in Huntsville last week. I'm saying
I watched
yesterday.
that one. Yeah.
And man, I had the best time just hanging out with him. Um, the Ecamm family is just so many cool people, but not just being cool, not just Kirk being a nice guy, but seeing how he had things set up had my creative mind circling. Okay, he had a great setup studio, upstairs bedroom in his house, and just different. In one bedroom, he had like what, two, three different sets that he could use.
Right. Yeah, that was awesome. That's a great setup.
Those are some of the things that you can get with networking and collaborations with other people. I just think that all of this stuff could really, really be helpful. And not only am I thinking it's helpful, Marianne is definitely saying fellow content creators help with inspiring and motivating each other. I really think that they do. And she's talking from the perspective of being all the way in Australia, of saying how much collaboration helps. Like, we have people, I have Kirk that's just 2 hours from me. You in Arkansas, not that far, states, couple of states over. And it is important for us to find ways to network and to have people that are around. There's nothing like having this conversation, because we've had this conversation, but have it offline. Yes,
Oh
I'm doing
yeah.
this to help people, but we have this same conversation offline to help each other.
I came to Birmingham once. We did a
Yeah,
show at your studio, and
yeah,
I've not been to Creator Camp. I'd love to come, but I went the last 2 years to NAB for work. And the first year I went, I'm standing around like I don't know. I mean, it's NAB's huge in
right.
Vegas. It's the biggest thing you could ever go to. Brandt, Brandt, look around, and I'm sorry, I'm going to forget his name right now, but he wrote the song for us. He's a DJ
DJ right
in
on
Vegas.
beat,
Yep, he made the show, the song for us back in the day,
right?
and then of course I saw Doc, and then I saw you know Loria and all these other people. And then this year, when I went again, I got to spend some time with everybody again and kind of catch up and see where everybody's at, And I, we had a creator, we're opening a new library here, and we decided to bring in some influencers.
Okay,
And I gave tours and I met with all the influencers and followed all of their accounts. And there's this pent up um, I'm wanting to do a creator conference here for local creators because there's just nothing here for everybody. And you just get lonely. You want to
right,
have somebody that does the same thing you do and bounce questions off of and get feedback and things like that. So I do think that's my goal this year, is to go to more social events. So we have a live fine arts museum every Wednesday night. In the summer they do a DJ, and it's like this super nice kind of DJ. All the cool kids are there. Like, I went and I saw all these people I hadn't seen in years, and I was just like, I've got to do this more, because I
wow,
also met, looking for freelance work or working for other jobs or looking for guests or whatever. It's just like having that physical contact. I think we're finally past COVID where people want to do that again. And I think
right,
it's super, super important. And my son plays jazz in jazz band, and I was at his band practice the other day, and we have a new teacher, and he has a brother that was visiting him, and they both went to Berkeley. And the
wow,
one brother is in LA. He's playing for this huge musician, traveling the world, kind of like Kim, right?
right,
He's doing his thing. And just talking to him, following him, oh, I'm going to connect you with this person. I'm going to connect you with that person, not only for my son, but for me. It's like, oh, I know. I had to say it. I know Kim Scott. Like, I've heard of Kim Scott,
right,
and that ability to extend yourself, because you might be um that person might lead me to an interview with somebody that I want to get to. It might be a place to get behind the scenes if I'm in LA, you never know. Like, I know if I'm in Birmingham, I can go talk to you, and that's very, very powerful. And I think we need to do more of that. And if you can't afford to, I'm lucky enough to go to NAB on the work dime. If you can afford to go to some of these conferences, I suggest you go, because really, the other thing you realize is, like, they're just like me. They're struggling just like me. They're using the same equipment as me. Yeah, I can do this too. And I think that's the biggest thing that you learn.
So you said a couple of things, and I got Kerwin down here. Got to network in real life. That being said, on the flip side of that, I'm working. Okay, I'm creating, I'm editing, I'm posting. like networking in real life, not going to the big conferences, because I think we could set ourselves up to go to the big conference. But those smaller events that are in your city could be, let me be honest and transparent, are the hardest thing to go to because I haven't been, okay? And I don't know that I would go because there's nothing there that intrigues me because it's not like I could go there and be around, in my mind, like-minded people like the Ecamm family. Like when we get together, I just feel like we all are connected. And of course, Creator Camp definitely helps all of that. But I am trying myself to get over the fact that, yeah, I may be the old guy in the room, but there's a lot of wisdom I could bring to the room and help. And those younger people can help me with new technology that they're using I never even heard of. But I have to get out of myself to do it in real life, if that makes sense.
I'm so I've been struggling with that this year because I turned 55 this year, and it seems like everyone I meet is 20 something,
Right.
and they're the art director or they're the head of something, right? But what I realize is that technology has made it so easy for everybody that they still don't have the nuances and know a lot. So there's still so much more you have to offer at this
Right.
age because they don't know the nuances. They don't know um, which cable to plug into which outlet, or how to finesse a story, or how to finesse an interview, or even a lot of times people will go off and they think they know what they're doing, and then they kind of misspeak, or they get in trouble with their boss or somebody. You got to know the politics. You got to know the politics of the brand that you're working with. I mean, so there's a lot of nuance that I think that uh more mature creators like us can do. um
You know what I hear in
and
my head, Brent? Let me tell you what I
what's
hear.
that?
I hear you saying that we bring to the table the experience of somebody that has actually put together a stereo component set. If you've never
Yeah.
done that, you need to be quiet. Okay,
Right,
listen,
right.
because if you've never put together the receiver with the record player, with the CD player, and the speakers, and using all the different cables to have speakers in the front and in the back, listen, there's some things that you can learn.
The
I get
also
it.
thing that I realize is you have the same experience I do, and that's with live. You were a live DJ, I was in live TV. And one of the things that I'm good under pressure, and people always ask me all the time, how do you do that? I'm like, that's what I lived forever. We did our show live all the time because we both didn't like to edit. We do better live. That's just what we do. And some people
Right,
just have a really hard time when things don't go their way. They get frustrated. And I'm like, you
right.
didn't have that, right? When you were live, drive time radio, and you had a problem, you had to fix problem
Yeah,
while
you
you're
have to
still on
figure
the
it out.
air,
You have to
right?
figure it
I've
out.
been I've been taking a different camera and crawled underneath a table to fix a microphone for somebody. Tell the crew to like pan over to this person. I'll crawl under there and fix it. And so I think there's some of that we still bring to the table is that live experience, and especially what you're doing with Kim. There's all kinds of problems when you start hitting the road, and it
Right,
could just be logistics, right?
right.
It's not always, I'm just going to go here, pull up my phone. This is going to be great. You know, I'm sure you have plenty of experiences about all the adapters you need in Europe, and why
Yeah,
Spain you have this versus what you need in England, or you need this in the Bahamas versus, and those are experiences a lot of people, they haven't done that yet. So I think those are all things, that separate us. And I will say that I'll match anybody with technology. I stay up on everything. So I
well,
don't
there
think
you
anybody can
go.
outmatch me.
There you go. So,
So
so are you talking to chat on your phone now?
ChatGPT 5 started using it today. I've been using ChatGPT for a couple of years now. I use it daily. You know, that's the biggest thing I've seen is everywhere I go, I listen. I'm nosy. Everyone's talking about ChatGPT, from
They're talking
teachers
about
to
it. They're
grandparents to, it
talking
doesn't
about it.
matter the age, sex. socioeconomic class, everybody's using ChatGPT.
You
Whether it's
hear
the
this? You
teachers trying to
seen the
figure out how
study?
not to cheat, the kids not to cheat, to
That's true.
or they're upset because the school wants to lock it down, but they're using it to plan their lesson plans.
That's
You know,
true. So have you
so
seen the MIT study?
no, what is
Need to
that?
research that one, saying that people that use ChatGPT. Let me say this. Let me say this, because some
They
of the
were
stuff I
smarter than everybody.
no. Their
Oh,
brain activity is lessened from
uh,
using ChatGPT. But let me say this. Um, a lot of stuff you see on the internet don't be true. It looks good though. It looks good. But I'm sure they'll come up with something that ChatGPT is doing to people that use it, as far as not making them think as well. That's just what they said. That being said,
did
I think you can be
oh,
really, really smart by having conversations with AI. My use of it is a more conversational use case, to where I need something massaged in a certain way, by asking them, hey, can you take this idea and bring them together to package something for me that I can help with? And it works for me.
I think the thing that scares me the most is they're that scares me, but what everybody needs to think about. This is that I posted on my personal blog, my website. It's called I heard on NPR the other day, Google Zero. And what that is a phenomenon that nobody's searching anymore. They're just going to ChatGPT. So how do you, and I've done the research and I haven't figured it out yet, but I do websites for people. Remember, we always talk about SEO. Well,
Mm-hmm.
SEO is different now for, you know, um, ChatGPT. And there's a bunch of different algorithms that it's using to see if you're legit, right? But I'm sure people are tweaking it. So if I put in how to give me a link to buy a computer, is it going to send me Apple? Is it going to send me to PC? I haven't dug that deep, but what they're this even Google itself, when you look at Google, there's that little AI preview that kind of breaks
Uh-huh.
everything down for you.
Right.
People are stopping right there. And their whole
Uh,
model's based on ads. And then how do you and I get discovered?
I agree with you, because I'm stopping right there too.
Yep, we
I
all are.
have it answered my question. I'm moving on to the next thing. I
Yep.
might look up some products that I want. So I may see a product at a particular store that I want to see who else has it. And I might, search through that from a Google standpoint. But if I need something from Google, I ask a question to Google, and it gives me that little AI box. I'm reading that box. I'm good.
I used to survive on YouTube videos for um, car repairs, air conditioning repairs. My air conditioner went out, and I just used ChatGPT. I took a picture of the motor. I took a picture of everything, and it found it for me. Found me that it said, "Hey, this is the motor that you need. It's $600, but here's one for $150 on Amazon that'll do just the same thing." I would have had to watch in the past. I would have watched a bunch of YouTube videos and tried to figure it all out. Um, that is changing everything because I don't even have to type it in now. I just take a picture, right?
I agree. I
Take a
agree.
picture of the tag on something and it'll tell you exactly what to do. And actually, then it'll serve you up some videos. Hey, you can watch this video or that video. So that changes search. So that changes how we do business as creators, how people find us. That's one thing. On the bright side of I helped a young lady 2 years ago do her business plan. And she said, I'm going to cry right now. I've been working on this for 6 months and you did it in 30 minutes. And I said, well, ChatGPT is free. You could use it. Just do what I did. She said, I didn't know the questions to ask. So you still have to know,
Right.
right? You can't say, go make me a brand. You can't say, go make me a show. Like I did today, I read that, finished the book and said, hey, I really thought this was interesting. The tipping point. How does this influence how launching my new show? And it gave me I've got a doc printed out here of all my steps to launch my new show and how I could use what I learned in that book, which is just stuff in my head that I knew. It was easier. Like you said, it's a conversation. Hey,
Right.
I saw this. I can relate it to what I do. What do you think? And it says, puts it all out there. And I massage stuff and I make it go back 4 or 5 times. Sometimes I turn it off because it gets in a loop where it's just stupid and telling me the wrong thing, or it makes me try to write, makes me sound smarter than I am. I always tell it, that's not how I sound. Don't
Right.
use big words. Quit using, there's certain words it'll use all the time. I quit using that word.
Right.
Stop. Right. Um, but yeah, it's genie's out of the bottle, and I'm a technologist. If Da Vinci had a camera back in the day, he would have took pictures and not drawn. Michelangelo would have been taking pictures. If Einstein had ChatGPT, maybe he would have done 100 million times more what he did. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and then I also think that I know the writing's on the wall for me. My job as a creator, marketing person, editor, media, everything I've done my entire career is limited because ChatGPT can do everything. I mean, most of the people I work with aren't classically trained like I am. They didn't go to college for this. I showed them how to do some stuff in ChatGPT and Canva, and they're off to the races. So so I'm trying to reinvent my careers because those jobs are going away. Because either A, they're hiring kids out of college that can do it faster on their phone with CapCut. Nobody knows how to use Premiere. They're all using CapCut, editing it on their phone. They're not, they're not coming back to the job or to the office and loading up Photoshop. They're doing it on their phone before they even leave the event.
Right.
They're like, I'm done,
Right.
and so that is happening. And then AI is going to take the rest, the low hanging fruit. You
Hmm.
know, I did a commercial the other day for the library. I didn't want to voice it. I found, I don't remember what service. It sounded just like a guy from Discovery Channel, you know, but I did notice that they had Burt Reynolds' voice and you had to pay for that one. It said trademarked and copyrighted, but you could do
Wow.
it and you couldn't tell the difference. I couldn't tell the difference. And I do this for a living,
So it's still
right?
like it was going to be text to voice, and it was going to
Oh,
be rhythmic.
I wrote the chip script in ChatGPT, fed it to this. I can't remember the service. It was just the first 2 or 3 free ones I looked at, and it gave me a perfect commercial.
Wow.
Now that sucks for people that are
Voiceover. Got it.
voiceover work, but it's happening. So you're gonna have to figure out. My hope is that instead of as a wannabe filmmaker, can I do what a studio now with ChatGPT and Midjourney and some other stuff, can me and 2 people or 3 people or a handful of people make a dent in the industry where we would have had to have a crap ton of money and a bunch of
Dude,
employees?
there's my guy Swift, podcast heroes. Like he developed a whole cartoon series,
Mhm.
animated using AI, like on the front end. Like so, the time that I was just doing the dolls, and you could put in a prompt, and then you can have a doll made. He saw that
Right.
prompt and then went and built a whole thing. He had like a movie come out with podcast heroes. I mean, it was really, really cool. I'm gonna have him on soon so he can kind of
Oh
explain
yeah.
all the stuff. But he's part of the Ecamm family and is doing some really, really good stuff. Um, for ChatGPT, I want to be sure that I say this. You have to give very detailed prompts to get the results you want. You do. Sometimes you have to ask it questions to be able to get from you what you need to ask it. But again, people need to know that. People don't know. If I don't know what to ask, you tell it, what should I be asking you
Right.
to get the result that I want, and it'll tell you what you should say. Um, that's going to be the learning curve for a lot of people, even to going deeper in getting consistent results, getting consistently good results, getting like, and I'm thinking about this from video and image to video
Right.
part
Right.
here. To get that right, you're gonna have to really, really be smarter about how you prompt it to get it there. And they're updating these things weekly. You hear me, Brant? Weekly
Weekly.
updates
Yeah.
on all of these platforms to make the experience better, and it's blowing my mind.
I've had a movie that I wanted to make for the last probably 10 years, and I used ChatGPT and Midjourney to do some concept art for it, worked through the idea, and actually submitted a synopsis of the whole thing to the copyright office. And I just came back that I got my copyright. So I'm ready to move forward with the project.
That's
And
awesome.
that's the animation thing is what I'm thinking about doing is doing a combination of Unreal Engine and um, one of these models that I
Like
could do
Runway or something like that.
something. I haven't figured it all out yet. I mean, some of it I have to do probably by hand, but you know, I'm gonna see if I can push it to that next. Like I want to just do. Then my initial is to do a comic book. So, but I'm having a hard time getting repeatable characters. That's
Gotcha.
always an issue. But if I could get the base, my degree's in art, I can draw it probably. You know what I mean?
So what they're saying is, of course, there's a couple of prompts. You can actually get the JSON code
Hmm.
through ChatGPT that are collect that information, and you're putting the same prompt in what that character is, and then you have the next line is what you want it to do, what camera
Right.
angles and all that other kind of stuff. But you're right on it. It's all
I
there.
tried, and I spent weeks, and this was probably 6 months ago, so I know it's gotten better.
It's gotten in 6 months,
And
brother. I
oh
think
yeah,
VO3 hadn't been out by then. The Google thing, and
right.
that
But I
wasn't
mean, if
out.
you look at even, I probably made my money in this industry because I knew how to cut people out in Photoshop. You don't have to do that anymore. You know what
Don't
I
have to
mean?
do
That
that.
there's on a
That
basic
was a big
level.
deal back in the day. You're right.
Back in the day, it'd take you all day, like
Right.
trace around the person, because now you just click a button.
Click a
Canva,
button. Canva is
Canva
killing it.
does everything.
Yeah.
So I just
Brent, we
think
would
it's a
talk all
partner.
day, man. I just got to have you come
I know.
back. I have to
I will
have you come
gladly
back.
come back. I'm getting serious to get back into this. So, um, I like I said, I spent all day. The last 2 days, I've been rebuilding the studio, resetting up I got my stream deck set up, got all my scenes, got all my graphics.
That's awesome.
I just got to
What
find a
show is
night
it?
to. I'm just doing a show, Brandt Collins. It's just my own personal show, and what I'm doing is I'm building a brand. Um, it started out as it's changed a little bit. If you go to brandtcollins.com, it's a blog that I've got everything. I am building a brand, a new content brand, all in the open.
Okay.
So you can follow along. I'm going to be doing videos on it. I just was trying to get all this stuff done today. I've been posting,
That's awesome, man.
and I do feel like I kind of went through this value proposition. This is one of those things that ChatGPT I use all the time is I don't want to sell courses. Everybody sells courses. I don't want to, what can I make money? How can I bring value? And so I'm using a new platform new to me called Ghost.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a open source version. It's kind of like WordPress. I'm a WordPress developer. I develop for other people, but I found this and it's kind of like it's like WordPress and MailChimp built into one.
Hmm.
So it does my email list. It does signups. You can, I connected it with Kofi so I can do some donations, but, right. It's kind of like I tried Substack. It wasn't working for me. This is kind of like Substack meets WordPress. It's just clean and simple, easy to use. I will have to pay for it, but I'm just trying a whole new direction. I'm trying to
Got it.
different things that I've not done before. And
So I hadn't tried
originally, you
Substack
know,
yet, so that's still new to me.
it didn't, I had some issues with it. It really wasn't for me. I'm not, well, I say I'm not a prolific writer, but I'm trying to write more. So
Okay.
if you go look at brentcollins.com, you'll see the blog posts. And I'm trying not to hide anything. And at some point, it may be subscription. I do have it set up for a subscription. And I feel like my plan is I'll show you how to do everything. But if you want me to share the actual numbers, you'll have to be a member. Like what I'm charging for sponsorships, what I'm charging. If you want the spreadsheet, if you want the template, if you want the behind the scenes, you'll have to pay for that. But it'll be a minimal. I think $6.95 a month was my goal. But you know, I realized um, I do a lot of this for other people all the time, and nobody knows that I do it. So I'm just trying to show you behind the scenes how I do it.
You know, I
And so
started a show to do that exact thing. It's
it was called the
called
Stream
Watch
Show.
Me Create. Watch
Watch
Me
me create.
Create. So I'm
Yeah,
on usually it's like Wednesday nights, and I'm editing my wife's audio from her from our radio show. Like people don't even
nice.
know. Like we got a syndicated radio show for her, and I'm just editing that. Of course, I can't play the music, so I'm just editing her voice. So about an hour, 45 minutes or an hour, I'm just there creating and talking and all the other kind of stuff. And
You're
people
sitting
that
there,
want
you might as well, right?
might as well. And I did that for the exact same thing that you're saying. I create a lot. I create every day. There's not a day that didn't go by that I'm not here creating something. People don't see it because a lot of that work is for clients and other people. So I needed to start. So the first thing is I needed to be my own client. So I needed to be in my client list, producing stuff
Right.
for myself so people can see it. And to be honest, when I did that, to really start focusing on putting stuff out, man, I can't tell you the calls and the support that I've been getting in just the last couple of weeks, just because people are seeing my stuff and they like how well it's being done. But I was doing that for other people.
Now I'm the same way. I've been doing this professionally for 25 years and I freelance and I have some big clients, I have little clients, but I always end up having, I've done a bad job of marketing myself because, well, what do you do? I thought you did video. Yeah, I do video. But I thought you were a print guy. Well, yeah, I do print, is I do it all. And that
Right,
sounds terrible, but that's just marketing, right? I have to
right,
do the newsletter. I have to make the graphics for the newsletter. And this is just at my day job. I do all the media. I'm building a TV studio for the library. I'm doing all this research and market research. And, the other day we spent all day just giving tours to these influencers. Um, and none of them know who I am. They don't know about Strick and Brandt. They don't know about Ecamm, and then I show them and they're like, oh, wow, you know what
right,
you're doing.
right,
So that's for me too, is like more for my local market is to help people know that I'm an expert at what I do. And instead of saying, I'm going to do a show, which I've tried 3 times probably, I had content creator show, a marketing show, and just my own personal show. And I'm trying to make interesting, trying to, who's going to be the guest and who's going to do. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to share what I do. This is what I do. You want to see how I do it? That's the value. You can see
right.
how to do it. 1 out of 10 will probably know how to do it themselves. I'm hoping that 2 or 3 will hire me to do it for them. It's all good.
Hey, that's what it is. So, last thing from Kerwin, can you imagine having to prove your work in order for it to have value as AI versus AI? So, right now, to be honest with you, they ask you. So, I know it's in Instagram. There's a button in Instagram that if you use AI, they want you to press.
Wasn't YouTube taking out all the AI stuff? Didn't they
Yes.
just
They
they did
didn't
that the
take it
other
out.
day?
They said they're going to demonetize some of those things. I don't
Yeah,
know how they're going to demonetize it because, you're still talking about videos because I watched them that have millions of views. I don't know how they're going to do that because YouTube is there to answer a question and to get people on the platform. They get paid when people are on a platform. So like I started off saying, I'm watch the science stuff, right? If there's something talking about the universe, it's AI voice, AI text, AI graphics, and AI background stuff. I know it's
right.
AI because some of it doesn't fit what it's talking about. It's some random picture, right?
Right.
But it has a million views. I don't know how they
Well,
would
and then are those real
demonetize that.
views or those AI views? Are those bots? Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Who
Is
knows?
that, a bot farm in Russia or China with 600 phones? You've seen those pictures where they're bot farms. So I think what I've decided, and we talked about this when we started the stream show, and it's taken me this long to wrap my head around it, is I don't, and I've said this 100 times, but I don't need to go viral. I just need the 1,000 true fans.
There you
So I'm
go.
trying to completely change my daughter. She does hair tutorials. She has curly hair. She had a video go to 1 million. She's in the she's in the TikTok creator program. She's gotten people sending her stuff. And I told her, I was like, be careful because the writing there is very successful, but she's not making any money,
Right.
right? You got to ask for the money,
You gotta
and
ask for the
then,
money. You gotta have a product that you can sell.
yep,
If you're doing hair, hey, this is the product. I do
right.
feel like the lifestyle stuff that sells products will work because everybody is
I think
doing
you
that.
have to have something to sell,
You gotta
period.
have
I
something to
think all
sell.
these platforms are for something to sell, whether that's a course or a book or a $5. I bought a zine the other day from somebody on TikTok. There's two guys that come on and go, "Hey, what are you doing? We sell these little comic books." I think I spent $15, but I just liked their pitch and I was like, I'm going to support these guys. They're
Right.
hustling.
Right.
So I think that that's going to be, if you don't have anything to sell, I think it's days are gone where you're just going to be famous. I think that's the allure when we started all this. It was so easy to become quote unquote famous and just make money.
Right.
I never did, but um, now you just can't just be famous because everybody has a camera, everybody can
So,
edit, everybody has better videos than you or me or you know.
so let me give you this one, and I can end on this. I just heard this today. There's a difference between Rihanna and Drake.
Hmm.
Drake is tremendously more popular than Rihanna. Rihanna Rihanna is eight times more wealthier than Drake
Right, because she has brands. She
because
has,
she has that Fendi
yeah.
brand deal that made her a billionaire.
Yep. And there's a few of those people out there that are super smart. And I also heard my daughter said if you ever meet Rihanna, let me know. Suppose she smells amazing. So she's like, if you ever meet her, she wants to know. So
Well, I'll definitely try that out and
if you
smell
see
her
her.
next time I see her and tell you what she smells like. Okay,
that
it's on my
but
list
that
of things to
that
do for you.
that kind of hustle, not hustle, but that forethought to build a
Oh
brand or to
yeah,
build a company on top of
the
your
music. So the music
famous,
business was built on that too. It was built
yeah,
on selling a product. So they don't have a product to sell now because streaming is not it. They just don't know what to
to
do.
sell.
Like it hadn't,
Yeah.
they're trying to go back to a CD or they're trying to go back to a product that can actually sell. But Beats by Dre. Dre made money in the music industry, but it was those
Right.
headphones that made him millions. Okay?
There's a lot of, there you see that a lot now with NIL deals, right? I mean, the college kids are getting NIL deals and launching. I met a young man. We went to Northwest Arkansas where my daughter works. She had helped where she works. She organized a Juneteenth celebration. So we went up there to visit. It was in a park, all these vendors. My son ended up buying a shirt. It looks like a football jersey with a flower on it, like a big flower. And it had some initials and stuff on it. And I went to meet the young man. He was like a young man. He was 400-pound lineman, right?
Wow.
And he said, "This is my NIL deal. I'm building my own brand." He designs his own shirts. And I was just so enamored with this young man that he could have been, and the other young man that was with him was filming all the stuff for him because he was the media guy for the football team. And I was like, so they could have been get an NIL deal sitting at home playing video games, but
Right.
they were out there trying to at 20,
Building
maybe
his own
20,
brand. He invested
doing
in
his own,
himself.
making his own shirts. I was
I
just
love it.
so
I
impressed.
love
I
it.
was just like, that's the future we live in, is that everyone's hustling. We all have to,
You
you
got
know,
to. All right,
it's too
Brent, I told you
expensive.
I was going to have to get out of here. Oh my gosh, we
Yep.
can go for days. I appreciate you guys watching tonight. Like it's really cool anytime Brent and I can kind of come together and have a conversation because we would do this whether the cameras were on or not. That being
Uh,
said, Brent, you got to come back. I got a couple of things from
All
home
right.
studios. I am talking about, and you're building your home studio. That might be a really, really good one because I'm talking about the essentials that you need. It won't be next week, or will it be next week? I don't
Uh,
know.
uh,
I'll
I've
call you. I'll
also
hit you
got
up.
I bought about 40 grand worth of stuff sitting ready to go in boxes to install for the actual production studio I'm building in our library. So
Okay.
it'll be Blackmagic switch, 4K switchers, cameras, teleprompters, all that stuff. So I can spend a lot of time. I've been to NAB the last 2 years to pick all the right stuff. So,
I
and
would
even
be
for
very
what I'm
interested
building, it's on a budget.
in
So
that 4K switcher that they have. I'll be very interested in seeing what that is. All right.
yeah, and I already played with some of the cameras, so it's going to be pretty cool. So, but yeah, love to be back. Thanks for letting me practice. I needed the practice.
Oh, no problem, man. We could go. We could go. All right, guys. I'm going to be out on the 24th. So next week is the 17th. I'm talking about home studios next week, Brandt. After that,
Okay.
I'm going the week after that because my wife is playing another festival. And then the last Sunday in October, which I think is the 31st, I'll have Tanya Smith hang out with us. And we're going to talk about all these new AI tools and stuff, Substack. And she's going to get me up to date about what's going on, because I haven't been an early adopter because I've been creating. And I need to adopt something else just to say that I'm an early adopter on it. All
That
right.
sounds great.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. I'll see you next Sunday. Hey, this is DJ Strick, and I would like to thank you for watching another edition of The Stream Show.